We tend to look at a company's success and think about its products, right? Or maybe its profits. But what if the real secret sauce is something deeper? Today, we're going to dig into this idea that every truly great business is actually built on a powerful web of relationships, starting from the very inside and working its way out.
So that brings up a really big question. What is a company's greatest asset? Is it the brand name, the cutting-edge tech, the balance sheet? Well, the answer we're going to explore today is a lot more human. It's all about the strength of its partnerships, starting right at the heart of the company and just spreading outwards from there. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to start right at the company's core, talking about internal partnerships. Then, we'll expand out to the supply web. After that, we connect to the whole world. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a big takeaway for you.
Okay, first things first, success absolutely starts from within. It's like building a house, right? You gotta have a solid foundation before you can even think about the walls and the roof. For a business, that foundation is getting its own house in order. And that is all about the power of internal partnerships. The key idea here is something called internal marketing. And it's actually a really simple but, wow, powerful concept. Think about all the effort a company puts into winning over customers, making them feel valued, engaged, and happy. While internal marketing says, hey, let's do that for our own employees. The whole point is to build a team that's not just clocking in and out, but is truly, genuinely bought into what the company is trying to do.
So why is this so critical? Well, think about it. To your customers, your employees are the company. This is especially true in service businesses, right? A single frustrated employee can completely tank a customer's experience in like 5 seconds. But a happy, engaged employee, oh man, they can create a fan for life. That link between them is it's direct and it's incredibly powerful.
So to get that positive internal vibe going, you really need to focus on two different things: culture and climate. Culture, that's the deep down stuff. It's the unwritten rules, the shared values, kind of the how we do things around here feeling. It's like the giant part of the iceberg you don't see. Climate, on the other hand, is what's above the water. It's the stuff you can see and touch, like the actual policies and procedures. You absolutely need a strong culture, and it has to be supported by a good climate.
Now, a huge piece of a great climate is empowerment. And look, I know that sounds like just another corporate buzzword, but it's not. It's about a real, genuine shift in power. It's about actually trusting your team to make big decisions right there on the front lines, where, let's be honest, they usually have the best information anyway. It means they don't have to run every single little thing up the flagpole for approval.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you make empowerment real? Well, it's a step-by-step thing. First, you've got to be transparent. Give people the real info on how the company's performing. Then, you tie their rewards to that performance. You give them the knowledge they need to actually make a difference. And then, you give them the power to make those decisions. And last but not least, you invest in them. You help them grow. You can see how it all feeds into itself, right? It's a cycle.
All right, so we've built a really strong internal core. Now, let's move out to the next ring, the supply web. This is all about getting those crucial relationships with your suppliers just right.
Okay, so the classic way to think about suppliers is in a straight line. We call these vertical relationships. You've got the people who make the parts, they sell to the factory that builds the thing, which then sells to the store that sells it to you. It's like a chain, with each link being a different step in the process.
But let's be real, business today is way more complicated than that. We also have to think about horizontal relationships. This is where you partner with people on the same level as you. Maybe companies that sell complementary products or, and this is the weird one, even your direct competitors. It sounds kind of crazy, I know, but you'll see it's often a massive strategic advantage.
So let's compare these for a second. Vertical is all about making that supply chain run smoothly and efficiently. Horizontal is more about teaming up at the same level to share resources or expertise. And the perfect example of this is Apple and Samsung. Think about it. They are brutal competitors in the phone market, right? But at the same time, Samsung makes some of the most critical parts inside the iPhone. It's the classic case of frenemies. Why? Because it works for both of them. Apple gets the best screens in the world, and Samsung gets a giant guaranteed customer.
So why are we seeing more and more of this? Well, to put it bluntly, the world is just too complex and fast-paced for any one company to do everything by itself anymore. You've got globalization, technology that changes in the blink of an eye, and customers who are more demanding than ever. Teaming up isn't just a nice little option anymore. It's pretty much essential for survival.
And when you get it right, the benefits are huge. We're talking lower costs, guaranteeing you get the parts you need, and just having everything run smoother. Plus, and this is a big one, it makes it way harder for new competitors to come in and disrupt your market. You're building a moat around your business.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You have to be smart about this because there are real risks. You could end up reducing competition in a bad way, or worse, get stuck in a long-term deal with the wrong partner. You might find your company cultures just don't mix, and if the whole thing goes south, all that time and money you poured into it, poof, it's gone.
Okay, so we've solidified the core and we've built our supply web. Now it's time to zoom all the way out to that final, biggest layer, connecting your business to the entire world through external partnerships.
And this can mean a whole bunch of different things. It could be informal networks, just people sharing ideas. Or it could be super formal, like the entire industry getting together to set new standards. It might mean working with a university on cutting-edge research. And yeah, it even means building relationships with government agencies or other groups that influence public opinion. They all play a really different but important role.
Really, at the heart of all these external partnerships is the simple idea of a network. And it's not as complicated as it sounds. It really just comes down to two things: interacting with people and exchanging information. That's it. It's about building those connections to share what you know and learn what they know. So everybody wins. It's basically the circulatory system that keeps a company connected to the rest of the world.
All right, so we've gone on this whole journey building a business from the inside out. So what's the big takeaway? What's the one thing you really need to remember from all this?
Here it is. A truly successful business isn't some isolated fortress. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. And its health, its very survival, depends on that whole web of strong relationships we've been talking about. From the empowered people at the very center, to the collaborative partners in the supply chain, all the way out to its connections with the wider world. Real strength comes from connection, not from locking the doors.
And that really just leaves us with one last question, and this one's for you to think about. When you look at your own business or your own team, which part of this ecosystem needs the most work right now? Is it the internal culture? Is it those supplier relationships? Or is it how you connect with the outside world? Because figuring that out, well, that might just be the key to your next big breakthrough.